Why your grocery bill has gone up 35% and never coming down. You walk into the supermarket, grab the same stuff you always buy, and somehow, again, it costs more than last month. You were told this was temporary. You were told supply chains fixed themselves. You were told inflation was under control. They lied. And now there's a whole new crisis about to make everything worse. 1. The numbers they quote versus the numbers you feel. Here's how the politicians and the media cover grocery inflation right now. They say it's cooling. They say we should be grateful. In the US, grocery costs are expected to rise about 1.7% in 2026, below the 20-year average. And they are patting themselves on the back for that. In the UK, the Food and Drink Federation predicts food inflation will average 4.4% across 2026, and they call that progress. But let us talk about what they are not saying. In the US, grocery costs have already gone up more than 25% over the past 5 years. In the UK, it's even worse. Food and drink prices rose 37% between January 2020 and July 2025, outpacing overall UK inflation of 28% in the same period. Prices rising slower is different from prices coming down. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. That's not relief. That is an insult. 2. What's still going up? And here's the kicker. Not everything is even cooling. Some of the most basic things you buy are still climbing hard. In the US, beef and veal prices were 14.4% higher in February 2026 than just a year earlier. Sugar and sweets are projected to rise 6.7% this year. Coffee, juice, soft drinks, up 5.2%. In the UK, grocery inflation has been driven by sharp rises in chocolate, butter, and meat. Not luxury items, not treats, basic, everyday food. And as of December 2025, food prices were the #1 concern for UK consumers, with 92% worried about food costs and 60% saying they were highly concerned, the highest level ever recorded. People are not panicking over nothing. They are doing the maths every single week at the checkout. 3. Why prices don't come back down. Now here's the part that should make you genuinely angry. Prices went up fast. They are not coming back down, ever. In the US, labor costs that spiked during the pandemic are now baked permanently into the price of everything you buy. In the UK, there's an extra layer of betrayal. Government regulation has become the leading driver of food inflation, on top of the lasting damage from Brexit, the pandemic, and the war in Ukraine. Your government's own policy decisions are being passed directly onto your dinner table. The Food Foundation's tracker shows a woman's weekly food basket has risen 30.1% since April 2022, now costing £53.31 per week. The male basket is up 35.9%. In the US, the average weekly grocery spend has jumped from $120 in 2020 to $170 today. That is $2,600 more per year, per household, just on food. And while you've been absorbing that hit, the corporations selling you that food were posting record profits and calling it an incredible year. 4. The Strait of Hormuz, the crisis nobody is connecting to your shopping bill. Now, let's talk about something the mainstream media has almost completely failed to join the dots on. The Strait of Hormuz. Since late February 2026, shipping traffic through the Strait of Hormuz has been largely blocked, after the United States and Israel launched an air war against Iran. Iran's Revolutionary Guard has attacked 21 confirmed merchant ships and reportedly laid sea mines in the strait. As of today, Iran has declared the strait open for the duration of a ceasefire. Oil and gas prices dipped, and stock markets soared on the news. But here's the reality. Trump has said the US naval blockade on Iranian ports will remain in full force until a deal is complete. And Iran's parliament speaker has warned the strait will close again if the blockade persists. This is not over, and when it was closed, the damage was already being done. The UN's Food and Agriculture Organization warned that a prolonged disruption could result in a global food catastrophe, with shocks to energy and fertiliser markets set to translate into higher commodity and retail prices later this year and into 2027. Why fertiliser? Because the blockade didn't just restrict grain shipments, it bottlenecked outbound fertiliser exports from the Gulf, and that is where the long-term agricultural risk lies. Between 20 and 45% of key agricultural inputs rely on sea passage through the Strait of Hormuz. Nearly half of the world's traded urea, the most widely used fertiliser, is exported from Gulf countries via that strait. No fertiliser, lower crop yields, higher food prices. For years. The damage from even a weeks-long closure does not show up on your receipt at once. It shows up 6 to 12 months later, when harvests come in short. So here is where we are. Your grocery bill was already 25 to 37% higher than 5 years ago, depending on where you live. The corporations that caused it made record profits. The governments that enabled it are blaming supply chains. And now, there's a geopolitical crisis in one of the world's most critical shipping lanes, temporarily paused by a fragile ceasefire that could collapse any day, with the UN already using the word catastrophe. And yet the headline you keep seeing is, inflation is cooling. Ask yourself who that headline is written for, because it certainly isn't written for the person doing the weekly shop. Drop your weekly grocery spend in the comments, UK and US. Let's see the real number.